I'm joined here today by our Chief Financial Officer, Blaise Ngolia, as well as Representative Will Robinson, and I want to thank them for their help in today's announcement. We also have our former Senate President, Bill Galvano, who is the Senate President. My first 2 years as governor, we accomplished an awful lot together. He was a great ally in really helping to catapult Florida to being the #1 state in so many different things and really the place to be. So I want to thank Bill for those years and continue to be a friend. And before I get into the gist of today's information, just as a Floridian, as somebody that grew up in West Central Florida, you know, I was sad to see the news that Hulk Hogan passed away today. He was a major icon for anybody in Gen X. I can tell you, growing up then in the 80s and particularly the early 90s, he was really big. And he actually really was a star first before even he was Hulkamania, but when he was Thunder Lips in Rocky III. And that was like a huge, huge deal. I mean, obviously that was a great movie franchise with Sylvester Stallone. So he was Thunder Lips, and then a couple years later became the World Wrestling Federation heavyweight champion. And, you know, as a young kid, like, you know, I'm growing up and it's like, you know, that was like somebody's like, wow, that's our superhero kind of deal. And the fact that he was from a Tampa Bay area when I'm growing up there, I was like, oh my gosh, like this guy lives in our area. And, you know, back then when they would do these big events like WrestleMania, you could go to it, which obviously I wasn't in a position to be able to go to, but they didn't have even pay-per-view where you would pay for it to come on the cable. They had closed circuit, so you could go to like a venue and they would play it on like a really big screen. And so like the first few WrestleManias, I think, were like that. And I remember WrestleMania 3. He was up. Hey, stop.
Is that your fucking legacy?
Get out of here.
You bow down to
Get
a
out of
fucking
here.
pedophile.
Get out of here.
You're a fucking pedophile.
Get out of here.
Donald Trump.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Fuck you all.
So you used to have the closed circuit. So you would go and you would have that, and then you'd just kind of watch it. So I just remember like WrestleMania 2, he's fighting Andre the Giant. And look, I was a kid. I didn't know that it was choreographed, right? I mean, I was like really worried that he was going to be able to do, but he slammed Andre the Giant. That was like a huge thing for like kids in that era. And so, you know, and we were with him just a couple of months ago. My kids got to meet him and everything. So I was really sad to see that. And our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and people throughout this region of Florida, because I know so many people cared about him. We are here today to continue our record of fiscal responsibility. And the state of Florida, I just signed a budget at the end of June, and the budget that I signed spends less than the budget that it replaced from the previous year. And that budget, after I did line item vetoes, spent less than the budget did the year before. How many other states can say that they're actually spending less year over year, especially when you have inflation? It's not been easy to do. There have been projects we've had to put a lot more money into because of the rising cost, and so there's a whole host of issues, you know, that go along when you have big inflation when you're managing these budgets. But we were able to do that, and if you look at our state government footprint, we have the lowest number of state workers per capita in the entire United States.